Hi yogis, welcome to another practice. We have an easy quick flow today. We do not require any props for the practice. All you need is a mat, some space and yourself and some time. Make the practice your own, take it at your own pace and listen to how you're feeling during the practice. And whenever you're ready, let's meet on the mat. Please do consider subscribing to my channel. Your support will be extremely appreciated. Thank you. Begin in Tadasana at the front of the mat. Your feet are hip distance apart. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, lift your heels off the mat. Exhale, left arm comes forward, right arm back, take a standing twist. Back to center, arms come alongside your ears. Next breath, right arm forward, left arm back, take a twist. Come back to center, bring your heels down onto the mat and fold forward. Halfway lift, slightly bend your knees if that helps. You are in a deadlift position here. Bring your arms alongside your ears. Cactus your arms and bend at your elbows. Next breath, extend. Cactus your arms, bend at your elbows. Extend, cactus. Extend, 3 more. Extend, cactus. Last one. And fold forward. Halfway lift, plant your palms onto the mat, step back into your plank pose, flow all the way down, bring your chest down onto the mat, lift up into high cobra, come back down, bring your left heel on the outside of your right thigh and bring your sit bones down. We are now looking at the back end of the mat, lift your hips up, open into a wild thing or a variation of wild thing. Come back to center, back to your high cobra. Bring your chest down onto the mat. Right foot comes on the outside of your left hip. Sit bones come down on the mat. Lift up into your wild thing variation. Come back down. Back to your high cobra and come all the way back down onto the mat. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, bring your palms alongside your chest and push up into your full plank. Lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Spin your heels onto your right side. Sit your hips towards your heel. Take a hip dip. Come back to center. Spin your heels to your left side. Sit your hips down. Open your chest up, come back to center. Back to downward facing dog. Bring your heels slightly wider than hip distance. Bring your left palm on the outside of your right heel and bring your gaze towards the sky from under your right armpit. Back to center. Right palm comes to the outside of your left ankle, take a twist, come back to center, downward facing dog, flow into your plank pose, flow through your chaturanga, upward facing dog, all the way back, downward facing dog, bend your knees, look towards your palms, hop or walk to the top of your mat, halfway lift, fold forward. Sweep your arms all the way back up, come back into Tadasana. Tuck your toes, engage your abs, lift your heels off the mat, sweep your arms all the way up. Next breath, right arm forward, left arm back, standing twist, come back to center, left arm forward, right arm back, standing twist, come back to center, bring your heels down onto the mat and fold forward. Halfway lift, bend at your knees if that helps. Extend your arms alongside your ears. Cactus your arms and pull your elbows back. Extend, cactus, extend, 3 more, extend, warming up your lat muscles and your upper back. Fold forward, palm the mat, You can either walk back into your plank or hop back and come all the way down. Open up into your high cobra. Bring your chest back down onto the mat. Bring your left heel on the outside of your right hip. Bring your sit bones down. Lift up into wild thing. Come back down. Back to your high cobra. Bring your chest down. Bring your right heel on the outside of your left hip. Sit bones come down. Lift up wild thing. Come back. High cobra. Bring your chest back down onto the mat. Palms are next to your chest. Tuck your toes. Lift your knees. Engage your legs. Push up into plank. Lift your hips back up. Coming in downward facing dog. Spin your heels onto your right side. Sit your hips back down towards your heels. Come back to center. Spin your heels onto the left side. Sit your hips back down. Come back to center. Downward facing dog. Bring your hips slightly wider than hip distance. Left palm comes on the outside of your right ankle. Take a twist in your downward dog. Come back to center. Right palm comes on the outside of the left ankle. Take a twist. Back to center. Bring your feet back into position. Downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up. Three-legged dog. Bend your right knee. Bring your right knee into your chest. Right shin comes down onto the mat. Lift your left leg up. Extend your right hand. You're in a bird dog variation. Extend your right hand onto the right side. Bring your left leg onto your left side of the hip. Come back to center. Next breath, right hand extends to the right side. Left leg comes onto the left side of the hip. Back to center. 3 more. Come back. Try to keep your left leg hip height when you bring it to the side. Engage your core. Come back to center. Bring your right palm down onto the mat. Left foot plants down on the mat. Open up into a supported side plank. Stack your hips. Squeeze your glutes. Extend your left hand alongside your ears. Bring your arms out in a T. Palms come to touch over your head. You can clasp your fingers and extend your pointer finger. And next exhale, take a lateral side body stretch, bending down towards your left side. Come back to center. Bring your right palm down on the mat. Extend your left hand alongside your ears. Arms come out into a T. Bring your palms to touch over your head. Take a candle dip onto your left side. Come back to center. Right palm comes down. Extend left alongside your ears. Lift up. Bring your arms out into a T. Palms come to touch over your head. Take a candle dip. Come back to center. And this time, bring both your palms down. Square your chest down onto the floor. Lift your left leg up. Tap down, lift up. Tap down and lift. Tap. Keep your chest squaring down onto the mat the whole time. Plant your left foot back down on the mat. Bring your right knee in towards your hands. Bring both your sit bones down. Right foot is on the inside of your left inner thigh. Arms come alongside your ears. Fold forward. Your left foot is flexed and pointing up towards the sky. Back of your neck is long and you're hinging from your hips in your forward fold. Bring your left elbow on the inside of your left knee. Extend your right hand alongside your ears. Lateral side body bend. You can bring your left palm on the outside of your right knee to give you extra leverage. You can work your shoulder towards the inside of your left thigh and try to reach for your left foot with your right hand. Both your sit bones are down on the mat the whole time and the back of your neck is long. You're reaching through the crown of your head and rotating your top shoulder up. Release, come all the way up, plant both your palms down on the mat, square your hips, lift up back into your three-legged dog, right leg coming up. Release, downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up, bend your left knee, bring your left knee into your chest and plant it down on the mat. Extend your right leg behind you, left arm extends. Coming into a bird dog. Next exhale, left hand comes on the outside of your left shoulder, right foot comes on the outside of your right hip. Come back to center. Exhale, extend your hand and leg in opposite directions. Come back to center, extend. Try to keep your right foot in line with your right hip. Come back to neutral. Plant your left palm, bring your left foot down on the mat and open up into a supported side plank variation. Squeeze your glutes and stack your hips. Extend your right hand alongside your ear. Bring your arms out into a T. Palms come to touch over your head and candle dip towards your extended leg. Come back to center. Plant your left palm down on the mat. Right hand extends alongside your ears. Arms come out into a T. Palms to touch over your head. Take a candle dip. Back to center. Extend your hands out. Bring your left palm down. Extend your right. Palms come out into a T. Touch your palms over your head. Take a candle dip. Come back to center. Come back to T and back to your supported side plank. Come all the way back up. Plant both your palms in front of you and square your chest down onto your floor. Flex your right foot and lift your right leg hip height. Tap down and lift. Tap down, lift. Every exhale, lift your right foot. Make sure that your palms are directly underneath your shoulders and your chest is squaring down onto the floor. Plant your right foot. Bring your left knee in. Sit bones come down on the mat. Left foot is onto the inside of your right leg. Right foot is flexed towards the sky. Extend your arms alongside your ears. Both your sit bones are down. Fold forward, hinging from your hips. Keep the back of your neck long. Bring your right elbow on the inside of your right leg. Extend your left hand alongside your ears. Bring your right palm on the outside of the right knee and hold. Work your right shoulder towards the inside of your left thigh and reach for your right foot with your left hand. Keep the back of your neck long. Grow tall through the crown of your head. Rotate your top shoulder up towards the sky. Keep your extended leg active. Release. Plant the palms down on the mat. Square your hips back. Tuck your right toe. Lift your left leg, three-legged dog. Come back into your downward facing dog. Exhale, come into a full plank. Engage your core. Bring your right forearm down, followed by your left forearm, and hold your forearm plank for 2 breaths. Squeeze your glutes, engage your core. Walk your feet in, coming into a dolphin. Walk your feet out, back into your forearm plank. Walk your feet in, coming into dolphin. Walk your feet out, back into your plank. One more, feet in, coming into dolphin. Walk your feet back out, coming into a forearm plank. Bring your hips down onto the mat, swings. Peel your chest through your upper arms. Keep your legs active, pull up on your kneecaps. Press through the tops of your feet. Palms come to the corners of the mat, lift your elbows up. Back into your sphinx. Release your chest down on the mat. Stack your hands so that your right hand is on top of your left, and rest your forehead down onto your hands. Lift both your legs off the mat. Lift your chest up along with your hands. Release your hands. Bring them alongside your ears. Bring them back. Left arm stacks over your right. Come back down onto the mat. Exhale, lift. Next breath, release your hands alongside your ears. Bring them back. Stack opposite hand on the top. And release. Exhale, lift. Release your hands. Stack them back. Left hand on top. And come back down onto the mat. Next breath, lift, extend, stack your right hand on top, come back down onto the mat. Release your hands alongside your legs and engage your core. Squeeze your glutes, lift up locust. Come back down onto the mat, bend your legs, grab hold on the inside of your ankles. And next, exhale, kick your feet into your hands, peel your chest open and lift up into your bowl. Release back down, bring your palms alongside your chest, push up into plank. Bring your knees down onto the mat and stack your hips directly over your knees. Adjust your stance. Your knees can be slightly wider than hip distance if that helps. We'll flow into camel. You can have your back toes tucked, or you can have the tops of your feet down on the mat. Engage your core, squeeze your glutes, thrust your hip forward. Use your palms to support your lower back. Squeeze your elbows towards each other and open your chest up towards the sky. Release. You can come into full camel and bring your palms to your heels. I like to do it this way. I bring my left hand on my heel and sweep my right hand all the way around, peel my chest open towards the sky, and then work my right palm down onto my right heel. Keep your glutes engaged. Keep pushing forward with your hips and peel your chest open towards the sky. Slowly release. Sit your hips between your feet. Untuck your toes. Fold forward. You can bring your hands alongside your ears in your child's pose. Next breath, lift your hips, stack them directly over your knees. Extend your hands in line with your shoulders. Engage your glutes, tuck your tailbone and lean back. You're in a straight line from your shoulders to your knees. Come forward. Plant your right foot down on the mat. You can keep your back foot untucked and lift your back knee off the mat. Tuck your back toes, lift up, high crescent lunge. Squeeze your inner thighs and square your hips. Plant your back foot, pop it slightly closer if that helps, and fold forward into pyramid. Halfway lift. Plant your left palm directly underneath your face. Extend your right hand towards the sky. Peel your chest open. Take a twist. Bring your gaze down onto the mat. Shift slightly forward and play with transitioning into a twisted half moon variation. Plant your back foot down. Bring both your feet parallel to the long edge of the mat. Fold forward into a wide-legged forward fold. Shift your weight towards the ball bounce of the feet. Halfway lift. Bring your left glute towards your left heel. Extend your right leg. Flex your right foot. Skandasana. You can either stay here or optional to take a bind. Release your bind. Plant your right foot. Work your hip towards the front of the mat, coming into a Skandasana, and then plant your palms down on the mat. Rotate towards the front. Your palms are on the inside of your right heel. Lizard lunge. You can either stay here in your high lizard, optional to bring your forearms down on the mat, or you can take a bind in your lizard lunge. Plant your palms back down on the mat. Plant your back foot. Open up side angle. Come back into lizard lunge. Right shin comes parallel to the mat. Bring your hips down. High pigeon. Peel your chest open. Work your left hip down towards the mat. Take any variation of pigeon that feels good in your body. You can work into a bind by bringing your left heel to your left elbow crease and binding your palms behind your head. Release. Tuck your back toes. Lift your hips. Walk back into plank. Flow through your chaturanga. Upward facing dog. All the way back, downward facing dog. Bring your knees down on the mat. Take a camel. Take any variation that suits you. If you want to play with full camel, bring your right palm down onto your right heel. Squeeze your glutes. Open your chest up towards the sky. Spin your left hand and work your left palm towards your left heel. Release your camel. Fold forward into your child pose. Hips stack directly over your knees. Arms extend alongside shoulder height. Engage your glutes. Tuck your tailbone. Lean back in a straight line. Come forward. Plant your left heel down this time and lift up, palms alongside your torso. You can stay on the tops of your back foot. Tuck your back toes, high crescent lunge. Pop your back foot slightly closer, fold into your pyramid. Plant your right hand directly underneath your face. Peel your chest open into a twist. Bring your gaze down onto the mat. Shift forward. Lift your back foot off the mat. Play with coming into a half moon twist. Plant your back foot down. Both feet come parallel to the longest side of the mat. Fold forward. Halfway lift. Bring your right glute towards your right heel. Extend your left leg. Skandasana. Optional to bind. Release your bind. Plant your left foot. If possible, without using hands, shift into Skandasana onto the front of the mat, or you can use the help of your hands. Plant both palms on the inside of your left foot facing the front of the mat. Lizard lunge. Back leg is active. Choose your variation. If you did bind on the other side, try and bind on this side too. Come back, lizard lunge. Plant your left palm on the inside of your left foot. Plant your right foot down on the mat. Peel your chest open, side angle. Release back into lizard. Bring your left shin down on the mat. Coming into pigeon. Bend your back leg. If you did bind your pigeon on the other side, take the same variation here. Release your bind. Sweep your right leg all the way around to the front of the mat. Come all the way down on your back. Walk your heels slightly away from your glutes. Engage your core, tuck your tailbone, lift your hips off the mat. You should feel the heat in your hamstrings. Release your hip back down and lift up. You're digging down with your heels and your heels are walked away from your glutes. Come back down and lift up. Back down, lift. 3 more, come back down and lift. Release your hips all the way down on the mat. Walk your heels back towards your glutes. You should be able to touch your heels with your fingertips. Adjust your stance. Make sure that your heels are hip distance apart and your ankles are directly underneath your knees. Engage your glutes, tuck your tailbone, lift up into your bridge. Continue to stay here if this feels good, or you can bring your palms next to your ears. Push up into a full wheel. Release your back bend. Come down onto the mat. Extend both your palms out in a T. Lift your feet off the mat. Your ankles are in line with your knees and knees are in line with your hips. Glue your chest and your shoulder blades down onto the mat. Exhale, drop your knees on the outside of your left hip. Your chest is open up towards the sky. Back to center. Drop your knees on the outside of the right hip. Come back to center. Use your core to lift your knees back to center. Keep your shoulder blades down on the mat and chest open towards the sky. Come back to center. Come back to neutral spine. Hug your knees into your chest. Support your lower back and lift your hips in line with your shoulders. Point your toes, extend your legs. Bend your knees, bring your knees to your forehead and extend your legs. Try to work your toes to the floor. Try to extend your legs and work your knees away from your forehead. Stack your hips directly over your shoulders. Slowly roll all the way back down onto the mat, and we'll end our practice in Shavasana. Close your eyes and take a minute to consolidate your practice. That was a quick, short practice, and I hope you had fun. Please comment below, let me know your thoughts, and I'll wish you a wonderful week ahead. I'll see you on the mat again next week. See ya.